What's up, guys? My name is James. I'm here to introduce a series to you that I'm going to try and get together. But I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction real quick about myself. So right now I work a regular 9 to 5 job, or more like a 6 o'clock to 3 o'clock job. So I work full time. I work as a maintenance professional. Okay. And basically what my goal is I've been side hustling like crazy. I spend a lot of time learning about side hustles and starting businesses. And basically what my goal is to document that, show people that they can do it themselves, show people the way that I do my side hustles, and kind of document the progress of things taking off, because I think I'm at a point where I've put in a lot of time and effort into side hustles and made a lot of connections, and been working with a lot of great people, and I can feel it's kind of taken off. It's getting to the point where if something breaks in my favor, it's going to be a big snowball effect. And so, I think I'm a little ways off from that, but I do think that this is going to be a successful journey, and I want to document that and show people that it's definitely possible to start in your neon color. That's really just a metaphor for, working a 9 to 5. Right now I do manual labor. Really don't want to do manual labor for my entire life. I'm trying to set myself up financially. Sorry for the terrible shadow there. But I'm trying to set myself up and my family. Right now I have a fiance and a dog. At some point we'll certainly have kids and a lot more things going on. So I want to document the journey of just kind of taking my 9 to 5, relatively low paying job, no college. I've basically taught myself everything I know. I spend a lot of time listening to books, gathering information, and I just want to show people that it is possible to get to where you want to be, because I kind of feel that starting to give. I feel like I'm breaking through, and I want to show people, and I want them to learn, and I want to work with people and get to where everybody wants to be. So that's basically the series introduction. I'm going to run you through, at least off the top of my head, what I can think of that I got going on, and real quick, just kind of push the idea of a side hustle. So basically, where the story starts at is coronavirus started. I was working my regular 9 to 5 job, and we got the first stimulus check, and it was for $800 in the USA here, and basically I was talking to my girlfriend at the time, who's now my fiance, and I used to do farmers markets. That was my first job ever, was selling produce at farmers markets. I love the atmosphere. I love kind of that face-to-face sales with people. I don't feel like you can get better sales experience anywhere than that face-to-face. And farmers markets are a great atmosphere. People always are in such a good mood just to be out there. So it's a really positive sales environment. It's a great place to kind of get your feet wet in sales, but that's a story for another time. But anyway, so that was my first job, and I really enjoyed that atmosphere. So about 7 years later, I got the stimulus check. I knew I wanted to make more money. When they gave me the $800, I was just like, I got to find a way to turn this into more, even though, luckily I didn't lose my job during coronavirus. I still have a job. But I knew I needed to take that 800, and instead of blowing it on something silly, I just knew I had to turn that 800 into more. So anyway, one of my favorite snack foods has always been popcorn. It's always had a special place to me. And so, I made popcorn stovetop like almost every night. And I started thinking, well, what if I sold popcorn at farmers markets? So in one night, I get on eBay and I find a popcorn kettle. It's like $650, maybe $700. And it was in South Carolina. It's 8 hours away from me. But I thought, so I talked to my girl, and I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. And she said, yeah, okay, well, all right, well, that's a nice dream. We'll see what you can find. But that's not how I work. I go like right in. So of course I bid on it that night with the $800 I got from the stimulus check. Turns out there wasn't very much longer on the auction. So when I got to work the next morning, I was like, I gotta take off work tomorrow and go pick up this popcorn kettle 8 hours away in South Carolina. And it also just so happened that was also my birthday, the day that I was going to pick the kettle up. So fun solo ride down to South Carolina on my birthday. But so anyway, I started there, and then I immediately hit up the farmers markets that I used to sell at. Luckily, just by being relatively friendly and a nice guy, they remembered me and said I was welcome to come back and sell as a vendor. So I won't get into the the whole details of how I set the business up and everything like that, but it was super easy, and it was a great stepping stone. But from there, I've also started a coffee company because I realized that nobody has coffee at that farmer's market. There's a good bit of customers and they show up in the morning. Everybody wants coffee in the morning. So I've branched off into the coffee company. During the market season, I also met another market manager of one of the other farmers markets I was doing. And we've arranged to be on a lease to get a storefront in a relatively small town, but it's a pretty well-to-do town. So we've got a storefront there that I'm gonna basically be 50% owner of a farmers market, indoor farmers market type of deal, and we're gonna have all type of stuff. So from there, I talked to the property owner there, and it's a large warehouse. We could only rent a third of it, and so anyway, I just asked if I could be on a master lease, and even though I knew I couldn't afford to rent all 3 of the spaces in that building, I asked him if he would give me the master contract, since another side hustle, I got my real estate license. I really don't do much with that as far as getting clients and finding them houses or selling houses for them. But I do think it's really beneficial to have. So I said, hey, I have my real estate license. I'd like to be basically the landlord for the other 2 tenants to make sure that those businesses go well with mine. Would you be willing to do that? So right now, that's something I'm looking for. I'm in the process of, I want to document, like I said, as I go along here. We're going to see if we can find other businesses to go alongside ours, and I'm actually going to try and make money off the top of being a landlord there. So essentially, I'll run my business there, I'll landlord there. So I have popcorn, coffee, real estate. So the job I had after my produce farming job was working for a contractor. I worked about an hour and a half away from my house, though. It was a good ride into the city. But I made good money there, and I made an even better connection with the owner of the company. Relatively small company, but they do commercial work, maybe a couple $1 million gross over the course of a year. So decent sized company, but certainly not huge by any means. But I built a great relationship with the owner of that company, and still work with him. Doing all type of stuff, bringing him bids online. But basically, we're just good friends. We work really well together. So I've continued that relationship, and there'll be definitely more to come on that. And what I do for him and how I help him. The other side hustle I have is working for another good friend of mine. Again, you can probably already see a running trend. It's a lot to do with relationships, building up good relationships, having people trust you, and you trusting people is another huge thing, because nobody's going to trust you if you're not trusting them back. You got to put out what you want to receive. So but again, I work for another buddy who started a small digital marketing company, and he was doing big things previously before he started the company, and he just didn't like the way things were running, and decided he was going to start his own company. So at that point, I kind of came in a sales role, and I've continued to do that. I'm actually not making any income off of that currently. Basically, all I'm doing is sitting around knowing I'll need to learn what it is that I'm getting a free education to do for him, and eventually I know sales will come in, as we make websites, but all the while I'm learning the digital marketing side of things, which right now is a skill that everybody should have if they want to grow and build a business. So I'm learning that essentially for free, and I have the option to hopefully get paid for it at some point. So I've been doing that for about 1.5 years now. I've learned just a ridiculous amount of information off of that. It's been super beneficial. So I have that. So the next thing, I literally just put an offer in on a house. Like I said, I have my real estate license, and I have done a lot of research, got a lot of information as far as real estate investing. So shout out Bigger Pockets. Not sure if you guys have heard of this or not, but listened to a lot of Bigger Pockets and learned a lot of these guys that make good money off of real estate, how they do things. So I also kind of want to document my journey doing this, because what I've done is I'm going to attempt to do what's called house hacking. So basically what I did is I took I applied for an FHA loan, which is 3.5% down payment. Applied for an FHA loan, got approved for the FHA loan, and then you can get up to a 4-unit property. So what I did is I bought I'm trying to buy, I have an offer in on a 4-unit apartment complex. So the goal is for me and my fiance to live in one of the units, and the other 3 units are already rented out. Actually, they're all 4 rented out. So the first hurdle will be getting the first tenant who is on a month-to-month lease. She'll have to go, and we'll be having to move in there. So that'll be one of the challenges that I'll face right off the bat if this offer does go through. But yeah, so that's called house hacking, and what we're going to try and do is essentially live for free and make money off of, tenants. And so anyway, I'm hoping to improve that place, improve life for the tenants, and just, make a good situation all around. So yeah, this is basically the introduction. These are the side hustles that I have going on. What my plan is to go deeper into each one as I'm kind of in the process of doing it. I know there's stuff that I've forgotten, without a doubt, because there's just so many things going on, and so many awesome relationships that I've built that are really, I'm at a point now where I can really use these connections that I've made over the years, and I can, like I said, I can just feel it starting to break. I can feel it starting to tip. So I really want to document this, and I want to show people that have that 9-to-5. If you stick to side hustles, you can turn it into something big. You just really got to have that dedication, and it's got to be a burning desire to really make this work for you and your family. And but I just, I want to show people how I'm doing it, how I'm going about it. Hopefully you can learn something from me. I would love to learn something from anybody that's watching. But yeah, so that's about all I have to say, and hopefully as videos go on, we'll be able to have some deep conversations about the way things are going and what's working for me. So anyway, that's the introduction to Escaping the Neon. I hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to try and escape this neon, and hopefully you guys can watch along with me and come along for the ride.